Tally has quietly become one of the most practical ways to trigger real automations in N8N. And honestly, I think a lot of people are sleeping on it. Most people either use N8N's built-in form node, which is fine but pretty basic, or they wire up random webhooks manually and call it a day. That works, but once you try to build something that actually feels production ready, with file uploads, conditional logic, proper structure, things start to get messy fast. So in this video, we're gonna build a real workflow using Tally and N8N from start to finish. Not a toy demo, not a hello world webhook, but an actual async expense approval system. An employee submits an expense through a Tally form, N8N checks for duplicates, sends a Slack approval request, waits for the manager's decision, handles timeouts, and then logs or rejects the expense automatically. Basically, something a small team could actually use. And the nice part is, you can actually build this without worrying about form limits while you're testing it, because Tally's free tier gives you unlimited forms and unlimited submissions. So you can follow along and experiment without immediately running into a paywall. Let's get into it. Okay, now if you don't have a Tally account yet, head over to Tally's website and just sign up. Like I said before, it has an extremely generous free tier as they give you unlimited forms and submissions completely free as long as you stay within their fair usage guidelines. Once you're inside the dashboard, you'll see a really clean interface with the option to create a new form. Go ahead and click that. Now we're going to build our expense submission form. Keep it simple but realistic. First off, I'm gonna press on this plus button here, and I'm gonna add a short answer field, and I'll title this employee name. Okay, same thing, plus button again, and this time I'll add a number field for the expense amount. And then maybe I'll add a dropdown for categories. Just have to find the dropdown part. Okay, here it is. Right, so categories, and then I'll categories for travel, software, and let's say meals. Okay, now I'll add one more thing, an upload field, which is right here. So the employees can upload their receipt, let's say. And honestly, this is where Tally really earns its place in the stack. File uploads just work. Someone attaches a receipt, Tally stores it, and the file URL drops straight into N8N as part of the submission data. There's no extra storage step or weird handling, it's just there, ready to use inside the workflow. If you want, you can add a bit of conditional logic too. For example, if someone selects Other as the category, you can show an extra text field asking them to describe it. That's all handled visually inside Tally, no scripting. Once you're happy with the form, just hit Publish. Tally will give you a shareable form link, and that's what your employees would actually use. So at this point, we've basically built the front end of the system. Tally is handling the form itself, the validation, the conditional fields, and the receipt uploads. Now we hand everything off to N8N, which is where the automation and decision logic will live. Now we need the API key so N8N can listen to submissions. In Tally, go to your workspace settings, then look for the API section. You'll see an option to generate your API key, so let's generate one. Copy the key, we're going to use it in a second. Keep it private, obviously. Don't hard-code it into anything public. All right, now jump over to N8N. Create a new workflow, and in the search bar, type Tally. Add the Tally trigger node as your first step. When it asks for credentials, click Create New, paste in the API key you just copied from Tally, and save. That's it. No manual webhook URLs, no copying weird tokens into hidden fields. After the credential is saved, you'll see a dropdown where you can select a specific form you want this workflow to watch. Pick the expense form we just created. Then click Execute Step, go back to your Tally form link, submit a test expense, and come back to N8N. You should immediately see the submission data appear as structured JSON inside the trigger node. At this point, we officially have Tally acting as a front door to our automation system. Every new submission now kicks off this workflow automatically. All right, before we start sending Slack messages or touching accounting systems, we need to make sure we don't accidentally process the same submission twice. This is one of those things that doesn't matter in a demo, but absolutely matters in real life. Every Tally submission comes with its own unique submission ID, and that's perfect for idempotency. So what we're gonna do is store that ID somewhere and check against it before moving forward. Right after the Tally trigger node, add a data store step. You can use whatever you're comfortable with. Google Sheets, Airtable, a database, even N8N's built-in data store node. For this example, I'll use Google Sheets because it's simple and visual. Create a sheet called something like expense requests and make sure you have a column for submission ID. Now back in N8N, I'll add a Google Sheets node and I want it to be the get rows one. Now on the document, I'll pick the expense request I made earlier and then I'll pick sheet 1. What this node will do is that it'll search query the sheet and return it to us. After that, add an if node. The logic is simple. If the submission ID from the sheets matches the ID that was returned from the tally trigger, that means the request already exists. So on the true branch, where a duplicate is detected, you can either just end the workflow quietly or send a Slack message to an admin saying a duplicate submission was detected. For now, I'll just stop it there to keep things clean. On the false branch, meaning this is a new request, we add a new row to the sheet with all the expense details plus the submission ID. This way, we immediately record that this request has entered the system before we even ask for approval. This one step solves a huge class of issues. If someone double-clicks submit, refreshes the page, or if N8N retries execution after a temporary error, we won't create duplicate expenses. And that's the difference between a fun automation and something you can actually trust. All right, now that we know the submission is new and safely logged, we can move to the approval step. This is where the workflow becomes asynchronous, meaning we're not just blasting out a message and hoping someone responds. We're actually going to pause the workflow until a manager clicks approve or deny. So after the add row step in Google Sheets, add a Slack node. When you configure it, choose the operation that sends a message and waits for a response. This is important. Don't just send a basic message. We want the mode that supports interactive buttons. Connect your Slack credentials if you haven't already, then choose the channel where approvals should go. This could be a private expense approvals channel or even a direct message to a manager. Now for the message itself, include the important fields from Tally, something like employee name, amount, category, link to the receipt file. You can map these dynamically from the Tally trigger output. For the receipt, Tally already gives us a file URL, so we can just drop that into the Slack message so the manager can click and review it. Then add two buttons in the message layout, approve and deny. Each button should send back a distinct value like approved or rejected. Once this is configured, what happens behind the scenes is that N8N generates a resume URL for this execution. When the manager clicks a button, Slack calls that URL and N8N resumes the workflow exactly where it left off. So now when this runs, N8N will send the Slack message and then literally pause. It's not polling, it's not looping, it's actually waiting for a human response. Now let's talk about timeouts, because in real life, managers ignore things. Within the Slack node, you can add a wait limit option configured with a duration, for example, 48 hours. If the Slack node returns with a button click before that time, great, we continue normally. But if nothing happens and the timer expires, we branch into a timeout path. At this point, the workflow structure looks like this: tally trigger, check duplicate, login sheet, Slack send and wait, decision branch, or timeout. Now let's wire up the decision logic so that when someone clicks approve or deny, we actually do something meaningful with that result. When the manager clicks on any one of the button, in the Slack node, it'll output an approved value here, but if it timeouts, it'll just pass the data on from earlier. So to handle the logic for that, we're going to use a switch node. Okay, so I'll have two routing rule. One is where it gets approved, and then one where it gets denied. And to handle the timeout, I'm going to scroll down, add option, and then add fallback route. That's where the timeout part will go. Now let's handle the approved path first. On the approved branch, we're going to log the expense as officially approved. Since we already inserted a row earlier when the submission first came in, now we just update that row. Add a Google Sheets update node and match it using the submission ID column. Then set a new column called status to approved, and optionally add an approved date using the current timestamp from N8N. Now on the rejected branch, we do something similar but simpler. Add another Google Sheets update node and set the status to rejected. You can also store a reason if you included an input field in Slack for optional comments. After updating the sheet, we notify the employee. You can use Slack, email, or both, and send a short message saying the expense was rejected. If it was approved, send a different message confirming that it's been logged. So at this point, the full flow looks like this: tally trigger, check duplicate, log submission, Slack send and wait, switch on decision, update record, notify employee, optional accounting entry. And the important part here is that it's actually stateful. We're storing submission IDs, updating status fields, and handling both success and failure paths. It's not just a straight line automation. It behaves more like a real internal system. All right, so the workflow works, but before calling it done, there are a few small things that make it much easier for someone else to actually reuse. First, rename your nodes clearly. Instead of something like if, call it check duplicate submission, and rename the Slack step to something like send Slack approval and wait. When someone opens the workflow, they should be able to understand the logic just by scanning the canvas. It also helps to drop short notes on important nodes, especially the duplicate check and the timeout branch, so people know what those parts are responsible for. Now that you've seen the full thing end to end, this is where the combination really makes sense. You could technically build something like this using n8n's native form trigger, but once you want something you're comfortable sharing with a real team, with file uploads, validation, and conditional fields, it starts to feel pretty limited. Tally handles that entire front-end layer, so the form logic stays simple and visual, while n8n focuses on what it does best, which is the automation and decision logic. Another nice advantage is scale. A lot of form tools start charging once you cross response limits or need file uploads, but Tally's free tier gives you unlimited forms and submissions while you're building and testing. That makes it realistic to use as a real input system instead of just a prototype. If you want to try this exact workflow yourself, I'm submitting it as an official n8n workflow template. You'll be able to clone it, connect your own credentials, and adapt it however you want, whether that's swapping Google Sheets for Airtable, replacing Slack approvals with email, or adding multi-level approvals. So that's it for this one. We built a full async expense approval system starting from a Tally form and ending with real decision handling inside n8n. And honestly, if you're not already using Tally as your form layer, it's worth giving it a shot. The free tier is great, setup takes about 5 minutes, and it handles things like conditional fields and file uploads without you having to build that logic yourself. You can check it out by clicking the link in the description. If you found this useful, check out the template, play around with it, and see what other internal workflows you can build using the same structure. And as always, if this helped you think differently about how to structure your automations, consider subscribing. I'll see you in the next one.